Hello and welcome to our Friday afternoon live broadcast. Today we are going to be talking about insomnia and could fasting be causing you to have either worse insomnia type symptoms or create insomnia type symptoms. Today I am joined by my amazing husband Michael. We do this on Friday together as part of our aging community. And I know I titled this for today's aging woman, but I will go in and I will fix that. This is supposed to be for our aging community. So this is a really good time to grab your spouse or significant other or anyone that you would love to have on this amazing intermittent fasting journey with you. This is the day that we all come together and talk about common problems that we all have and not just keep it to today's aging woman. So like I said, we are going to be talking about insomnia a little bit today. But before I get into today's discussion, I want to make sure that I welcome everyone. Please take a moment to put a comment in that comment section at the end of our conversation. I always like to go in and welcome everyone and give you a little shout out. If you've taken our course before, please make sure you indicate that so I'll know when you've gone through our community course as well. And then if you are new, always take a second to hit that subscribe button so you'll be notified when we go live in this community. And if you're joining us on Facebook, all you need to do is hit that like button and make sure you are set up for notifications. So insomnia, usually it's one of those things that we are hoping to have go away or subside a little bit when we start something like intermittent fasting or change some lifestyle habits. I know for a lot of women who are going through some hormonal changes, insomnia is one of those things that can be very problematic. I know I suffered from it as well. My husband is not going through any kind of menopausal changes, but I know he had a period of time where he was suffering from some insomnia as well. So we're going to share with you 5 things that we really looked into and really try to keep an eye on to help make sure that we keep our insomnia at bay. And then the one thing that I also wanted to go into really quickly before I go into these 5 things is that I want to kind of clarify the difference between what insomnia is and feels like and then just not being able to sleep. And I really do have those 2 different situations that can happen to me at any given time. So insomnia to me is when you're feeling totally exhausted, but you can't get into that deep, restful sleep. And then you wake up the next morning after sort of like thrashing around all night, feeling completely exhausted and mentally and emotionally sort of out of it. And then just not being able to sleep is a condition that I really do feel I benefit from, and that is just having that abundance of energy and mental clarity where I don't need as much sleep on certain days as I do on other days, and I don't wake up feeling like I've been thrashing around all night and I feel like ready to go and start my day regardless of the hours of sleep that I was able to get. So there is a difference in my opinion between insomnia and not being able to sleep, and today we're going to talk a little bit about insomnia. So the number one reason why you might be feeling like or suffering from insomnia, especially when you first start something like intermittent fasting, could simply be because you're not consuming enough calories. And when I say consuming, if you are a student of my course, you know that consuming calories when you're in a truly fasted state doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking in new calories. Consuming calories could be the actual situation that's happening when we get into that fat adaptive state and our body's tapping into stored resources, aka calories that we've stored up, and it's going in and it's churning away at those calories so that you can utilize those as your new energy source. This also can be classified as being fat adaptive and or in ketosis. So getting enough calories is important, especially when we start initially getting into the intermittent fasting way of life and finding our own rhythm. You want to make sure that you're not like counting calories per se, but that the calories that you do consume within your fasting or feasting window are nutrient dense and in a high caloric value. So you want to concentrate on getting enough of those fats in, avocados, olives, using lots of oils, using nuts as a good source of like a snack type of thing or a topping on something that you're consuming. And then try to stay away from those high high calorie but low nutrient type of thing. So you want fats with a high calorie, high nutrient, but you don't want to get into those empty calories that aren't going to really provide the nutrients, the sustainability that you need from a caloric type of event in your feasting window. So the number one reason that you might be feeling some insomnia is just not getting enough calories yet. What I always say is stay the course. Once your body becomes fat adapted and can tap into those trapped calories that we've been carrying around with us that we're not too happy about, then your body will start to adjust and the insomnia will settle down.
Number two is your body is adjusting to change. And I know when I started intermittent fasting, my body going through those changes, I did find myself suffering from a little bit of insomnia. And, you know, like your whole circadian rhythm has changed from intermittent fasting. And I think it really changes too with the practice that you do of drinking coffee. You don't even think about your pre-workout, your coffee. You're just, you know, taking in all kinds of caffeine
as a tool, right?
Yeah, as a tool that works. Beginning. You know, the tool works really well.
Right.
Taking in, you know, having your black coffee, having your teas, and that sort of thing, but it can affect you at night. So sometimes now, when I start getting insomnia, I'll cut off all pre-workouts. I'll cut out my coffee and just go with a straight, clean fast, and you'll sleep like a rock.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not a good time. Sometimes it's kind of a bad combo with your circadian rhythms being off and you're consuming all this caffeine at the same time, especially if you're working out and you're doing like some kind of a pre-workout. But there are options too, like you know, when we do our ketones, sometimes we'll just do, you know, decaffeinated ketones. So we're not like getting a double-edged sword with the ketones, caffeine, and the coffee caffeine. So you have to be careful of that. And also, your body's in a full detox mode, and the highest point that you're detoxing is like in between 1 and 3 in the morning. So your body's putting in a lot of work, and that could also be waking you up. So you kind of have to be mindful of that and not just ditch the intermittent fasting, but kind of know why it is you're going through those things.
Right, and the number one reason and the number two reason, they really do go together. And when number one really starts working well and you're into those fat stores and you're burning your own stored calories as your new caloric source of energy, and you become really fat adaptive, that does kick up that detox phase as well. Because remember, we're detoxing those stored nutrients and the stored fat and calories we have in our body. So our body is in that detox state. So one can cause the other to happen. One being good, one feeling uncomfortable. And so make sure you're mindful of that as well. Just because something's different doesn't mean it's bad. Once you understand the process that your body's going through, some of those nights in the very beginning was when I was really feeling the effects of insomnia. I was actually excited about it because I knew change was happening and I knew it was just going to be a couple of days and everything was going to balance out. So the one thing I always really recommend, especially to my course students, is don't panic. As soon as you start to panic because something feels different, your body goes into that fight or flight type of mode and all sorts of hormones starts triggering off in your body, which then creates a whole new level of change. So just be mindful of the change that's happening. Know that it's good, even though it's different, and then just stay the course for sure. And then one thing that you can do to speed up the detox process of your liver is consuming some, what is it called? Selenium, which is found in Brazil nuts. So just snacking on a couple of Brazil nuts, maybe at night when you're closing out your feast, will also help your body go through that detox process and help that liver start to detox a little bit faster. And then number 3, have a good conscious carb later in the day. So we want to make sure that we're feeling full, and we want to make sure that our body has the energy source that it needs, especially when it's desperately trying to seek it through fat adaptation and adjusting to these new fasting and feasting windows that we are having in our day. So having some conscious carbs in your last feast of the day will really help you settle into a good night's sleep as well. I personally like to have sweet potatoes, and I usually reserve my sweet potatoes till later in the day as well, because I use that energy source as well for my morning workouts. So don't be afraid of putting in carbohydrates. Just make sure they're in the good form, and they're whole food carbohydrates, usually found in a vegetable form. That would be the best thing to add in later in the day.
Number 4, avoid alcohol and sugars. And I know that can be hard, and sometimes those alcohols, the sugars can be with the alcohols as well. But I know sometimes, like if you go out to eat and you decide, like for me, if I had a slice of pecan pie, I'm going to wake up, and I'm going to feel like I've been sleeping all night and I'm totally awake, and that's just a guaranteed. So you have to be really conscious of the sugars and the alcohols. And especially I know in Diane's community, it's pretty common, like, to have a glass of red wine, and you don't know why you have night sweats, leg cramps,
Insomnia.
and insomnia, and all these different things. And a lot of times it's just directly linked to sugar and alcohol before bed.
Yeah.
So if you're suffering from those things, you can kind of cut that out, and you'll notice a huge difference.
Yeah, and that goes back to, it's funny how 3 and 4 tie in together, right? So have a good carbohydrate at your last feast time. Good carbohydrate meaning whole food type of carbohydrates coming in the form of vegetables, not necessarily in dessert type of things or empty calorie things or alcohol. Alcohol will be that thing that will wreak havoc on your sleep patterns and keep you out of getting that really deep sleep. And that's what we're looking for, especially when we're creating change. So when you're in the beginning phases and you're making some adjustments to your lifestyle, I always say just forgo things like alcohol for a few weeks until everything kind of balances itself out. And then the number 5 tip or trick or resource that you can utilize to help fend off insomnia when you are intermittent fasting is drinking more water, specifically mineralized water. We've talked a lot here in this community about magnesium and how magnesium is that mineral that we all seem to be deficient in, and it is a calming type of mineral as well. So if you're finding that you're suffering from insomnia, track your water intake. I do say between 100 and 150 ounces. When I have my best night's sleep, I drink an entire bottle of this before I go to bed. Do I wake up and have to go to the bathroom? I used to in the beginning, but now my body is just used to the volume of water that I consume, and it has adjusted pretty well. So I don't wake up in the middle of the night anymore. And I do track my sleep, and I'm getting between 3 and 4 hours of deep sleep every night, and the remaining hours are always quality sleep. So these tips do work. We practice these all the time, and if we find that we have a night that we didn't have good sleep, we always go back to what we did the day before. Oftentimes it's not what you're doing in your fasting, it's what you're doing in your feasting that's going to cause some sort of hiccup to this lifestyle that we're creating here. So always go back and figure out what it is you're doing in your feasting window, and I guarantee you, if you make some adjustments, you will find some relief and get back to that good quality sleep. I can get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. I fall asleep well. I fall asleep easily. And like I said, I do track my sleep on occasion. I usually do it for a 3 to 4 day period. And my quality sleep and my deep sleep has been absolutely amazing. And I do credit it to these 5 tips here.
Yeah, and I like to throw in one tip for the guys. We deal with a lot of prostate issues and getting up to use the bathroom a lot at night. And I was doing that a lot before I started intermittent fasting. And I even find I still do it if I get off track. But when I'm pretty consistent with my intermittent fasting, I can drink water before bed, and I'm not getting up and using the bathroom all night. So right. Something to keep in mind. And I think it has a lot to do with that, with the swelling of the prostate. And as we get older, you're going to find that your prostate is more swollen. And I think with the intermittent fasting, that swelling goes down because
a reduction
those issues,
in inflammation.
Yeah,
yes.
Big time.
Yes, for sure. Okay, so let me see who we have here on Facebook, and then YouTube. I will jump on there as well. Julie, hello. Thanks for jumping on with us. Angie's here. Ingrid's here. Kathleen, hi from windy Detroit, December 18 grad. I noticed a much bigger impact from things like caffeine or chocolate since I've been doing IF. Need to be careful not to drink or eat after noon or can't sleep that night. But I do notice I don't need as much sleep. Yeah, and that's true too. And when you do wake up, oftentimes you're more rested and just ready to start your day. So that's been a nice addition as well. And then Michelle from Bloomington, wide awake at 4:30 a.m. with tons of energy and love it. Yes, exactly. So much more aware of what's going on in my body since starting IF. Yeah, it's true. Listening to those signs and signals and knowing what happens when we create that chemical reaction. Remember, anything we put on, in, or around our body has the opportunity to create a chemical reaction. And when you're in the moment and you're conscious and you're totally aware of how your body operates, you can really fine tune those reactions and pay close attention, because something you're doing could be causing something bad to happen, and all you have to do is pay attention to figure that out for sure. Sheila, hello from and happy Friday. Yes, we're super excited. Meryl, from the February 2019 class, I'm guessing. No problem with water and sleep. Awesome. Good for you, girlfriend. You figured it out. Okay, let's see what we have over here on YouTube. Lori, does calm magnesium at night for sleep break a fast? Only if there's things in it other than magnesium. So I would make sure that you're fully aware of what the ingredients label has listed, and then kind of just make your decision off that. I always say if you have to take something at night, that's the best time to take it, because you're still in those very beginner hours of your fasting window. And if it does help you sleep, I say it's worth it. Maybe try some Epsom salt bath type of thing as well. But again, if you're doing something in the front end of your window, it's usually not as detrimental as if you were doing it like an hour or two before you broke your fast. Linda, not sure if reached a milestone, but oh my gosh, the energy level, not good when you have a sit down job. Yeah, I know, and you're in our April course, so you're exactly in that point where you have the energized sense of calm. So first I want to say congratulations. That is the best thing ever. And what I always say is just utilize that energy the best you can. Just get up and go for a walk if you can. Maybe cut back if you're a coffee drinker. Cut back this week until things sort of start to level themselves out again. And then yeah, enjoy the heck out of it. It's weekend. It's the weekend, so get some stuff done. Do some planting. Clean out a closet. Really put that energy that you have to good use for sure. And again, congratulations, Gail. I've been doing IF for 9 months and recently have started drinking bone broth before eating anything, or I feel a lot of bloating after eating my first meal of the day. Well, good. If you found something that's working for you, don't change it. Just keep doing it for sure. Marilee from California. I'm currently in the intermittent fasting course and I'm suffering from the ketosis breath. Thanks for mentioning that would happen. How long does it last and will it go away? Yes, it will go away. Any signs of being in ketosis that are super obvious, like a change in body odor or a change in your urine or a change in your breath, is just an overabundance of ketones being present and your body hasn't regulated yet, and so they don't really know, your body doesn't really know what to do with them, so they're just extra ketones. Your body will adjust and you'll start to notice that goes away. I always say when it goes away, it always makes me sad, because those are just those signs that you're doing everything correctly. The best thing that you can do to kind of minimize that is to just drink lots of water. And just have lots of water readily available to you, so you can just take a couple swigs and sort of rinse your mouth out, and then it'll start to go away. I just got the toothbrush you talked about a few weeks ago. Awesome, by the way, so worth it. So I know I'm cleaning my teeth properly. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And remember, keto breath is just a byproduct of ketones being present in your system. Celebrate it for sure. You don't want those signs to go away completely. And Savity, I think it is. Drink 2 tablespoons apple cider vinegar plus a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. You will sleep like a baby. Micro light balance needed to have a good sleep. There you go. There's some tips there. We don't do any of those kind of things. We just kind of let it balance out. The Catholic Farmhouse, Savannah from San Diego, current course. Awesome, girlfriend. Jamie's here. Pamela from Charlotte. Imelda, I feel way more tired. Imelda, if you're in our course, that's just because you haven't fully gone through the first week of signs and signals yet, and when you get through the first week, you'll feel better. If you're not in our course, I highly recommend that you do. Friday is the magical day after week 1 where everyone is just screaming about how amazing they're feeling, how much energy they have, and how much easier this way of intermittent fasting is, and that is just because it's designed for us, today's aging woman, and it makes complete sense. So hopefully we'll see you in class. Danny, she says hello to us.
Danny, haven't seen her in a while.
I know. Thanks for jumping on, girlfriend. Jody from the April course, going good. Sharon, currently in the April course and feeling great. Sending love from the UK. Awesome, girlfriend. Thanks for jumping on with us this evening for you. And then Donna, good information. Awesome. And Odell, I have to take a medicine in the evening with food, so how can I fast? You take your medicine. Always take your medicine. Don't worry about your fast so much. And if you're fasting in the evening, I would take your medicine during your feast for sure. Miss LBS, she's sad. Oh, sorry to hear you're sad. Let's see. Who else do we have here that we can read their comments? Annette, why mineral water before bed? There's magnesium in it, and it really is a calming sort of agent, mineral that we need to help us fall asleep. It's soothing. And then I just like to make sure that I'm properly hydrated before I go to bed. So dehydration could also be one of the things that could be keeping you awake at night too. So you want to just make sure you're properly hydrated. If you're in my course, I do a video of how I break down my water, and I have a very specific routine to make sure that I get 100 to 150 ounces of water in my body every day. And if you have a system in place and a routine, and you kind of know what your triggers are, it's really easy to consume that much water. And once you get that much water in you, you really do start to feel so much better. And then Sheila, I don't need as much sleep, feel more energized right away in the morning. Yeah, for sure. The nice thing is, and this is going to happen to a lot of you as well, especially my new students in April. This is what happened to me when I first started doing this, is I would have a cup of coffee out of habit and not need. And so I would make a cup of coffee, a black cup of coffee in the morning, and then I would find by the late afternoon it was still sitting there all cold. I never even drank it because I didn't need it. So I wasn't feeling sluggish. I wasn't feeling fatigued. I didn't have that thing like, don't talk to me till I have my cup of coffee kind of attitude. I was just ready to start my day and all happy and energized. And so be very aware of the habits that you have. And do you need that cup of coffee? Do you want that cup of coffee? And there's a big gap between that. And it's okay to want a cup of coffee, that's for sure, especially in the winter months, but do you need it? And if you don't need it, is that thing that you can kind of just bypass every couple of days and then see how you feel?
And something we've been doing lately is just throwing on a decaf coffee every now and then. We'll just brew up a pot of decaf, and it's got some really good, I mean, the one we picked up has a really good flavor to it.
It's a Bulletproof brand.
Yeah. And it's almost better than the regular Bulletproof, and some days we'll do that just to avoid getting over caffeinated.
Yeah. If you just want a warm drink, and if you have bone broth, remember, has protein in it, so that will break a fast. So black coffee is your best bet, even if it's decaf. Doreen, do you have to eat keto when intermittent fasting? No, you don't have to eat keto, full-blown ketogenic diet rules and guidelines. We do like to teach a keto-like approach, just so you're not over carbohydrating yourself. Is that even a word? I don't know.
Sounds close.
Sounds good. So, you want to keep your carbohydrates low, because the goal of the fasting window is to burn through those stored glycogen deposits that we have in our body, and you want to get into that fat adaptation. So the more glucose you have, the longer it's going to take for you to burn that off to get to fat burning. So a keto-like approach is just really common sense stuff. That's the way we should be eating anyway, but you don't have to go full keto at all. The beautiful thing about fasting is it allows you to have a little more leniency when you're in your feasting window. And then I really do teach that you find your own groove with food and what works for you. And then that's going to be something that you'll be able to sustain for your lifetime when you create your own lifestyle. And then Jean joined us. Girlfriend, haven't seen you in forever. Annette, you're welcome. Kathleen, same for me on the coffee. I barely finished 1 cup now. I don't need it. Yeah, for sure. Unless you're like me and have found a new love for nitro cold brew coffee, which is absolutely to die for. And it's amazing. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend trying one. They have it at Starbucks now. It's so good. Andrea, I don't need as much anymore. Yeah, that's cool. And that's good that you guys are noticing that as well, because it is nice to be able to take a couple days and not have to have any coffee at all. And then Joyce, thank you. I'm in the April class for IF Aging Woman and feeling great. 57 and way heavier than I want to be. Just fasted 20 hours. Wow, lost 4 pounds since Saturday. That's welcome. Awesome. Yes, congratulations, girlfriend. And what I love is that the goal for our course that we teach, intermittent fasting for today's aging woman, is never focus on weight loss. But if you're doing the correct things for your body and you're listening to the signs and signals your body is sending you, weight loss will happen, because weight loss comes when your body is balanced. So girlfriend, congratulations to you for doing the work, and 4 pounds of weight loss for us women in this stage of life is just fantastic. So I'm super, super proud of you.
Yeah, that's great.
Jody, would it be equal benefit to take a magnesium tablet? Yeah, for sure. if that is something that would be easier for you. Tracy, thank you so much. You have really inspired me. I finished a 40-hour fast for the first time and going to try to do a 48-hour fast now. I lost a few pounds already and feel a lot better. Thank you. Tracy, you're so welcome and congratulations.
That's cool.
I'm in 44 hours, I think, of my fast right now, and I just measured my ketone levels, and I'm like prime and state of ketosis, so I'm super excited about that. One thing to caution you on, Tracy, when you break your fast, you want to go easy into your refeeding. So even having something like an avocado or a couple olives, don't go in and like, you know, ransack your pantry or refrigerator. Ease back into feeding, and that will be much gentler on your digestive system. And then don't focus on the weight loss when you do a long fast. As soon as you eat, I promise you, you're going to gain some weight back, and I don't want you to be discouraged about that. What you really want to do is, in a long fast, is deplete a lot of those sugar stores that you have in your body that is keeping you from getting into that deep fat adaptation and being able to get to those levels of ketosis. So be very careful about holding on to that weight loss from a long fast. I mean, congratulations, that's great, but you will probably gain some back. Do not be discouraged about that at all. What you really want to get from a longer fast that's outside of the intermittent fasting windows is the long-term cellular repair and putting your body into that state of ketosis where it can really start churning away all that extra stuff that you can't get to when you're intermittent fasting. So keep that in mind for me, please. Jamie, been 16-8 for almost 2 weeks now. When should I start seeing signs of being fat adaptive? Water only during the fasting window. Jamie, I don't think 16 hours is long enough, but play with it a little bit and see how you're doing there. Miss M. Pounds, I think. Can I be your new student in April? No, but you can be my new student in May for sure. We start May 4th. I will post the links to our course in this description of this video here. You can also go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com. That is my website, and you can find course information there as well. So I would love to have you in May. May is my birthday month, so I'm super excited for my May class. Joyce, do you recommend potassium supplement? How much should it be? I drink potassium inside my mineral water, so my mineral water has potassium, magnesium, and calcium, and I alternate between a water that also has sodium, and I sodium everything, so I put salt on everything that I consume. So yeah, I mean, if you want to take a supplement, sure. I always recommend just looking at the directions on your supplement bottle and going by the daily recommended allowance, unless you feel that you might be deficient in potassium, and then I would get a blood test to determine that for sure. It's Easter fasting time in Ethiopia. I just broke 12 days fasting. 6 days dry fast and continued with water plus pink salt. No animal products till April 28th. Amazing experience spiritually.
Wow.
Shabidi, I think it is. Congratulations, girlfriend.
Wow.
And I
That's
love that you're doing that for your culture and your custom. And yes, it is a very deep spiritual type of experience when you do that sort of fasting. That's why it's talked about in the Bible. So I'm glad that you're feeling all that and you're benefiting from it. And congratulations for doing all the right things by putting salt into your diet and all that. And I'm glad to hear that you're feeling well. So keep us posted on that. And then Kay, what about collagen? I like to drink a morning cocktail of 1 scoop collagen. It's a very good quality. Plus 2 teaspoons apple cider vinegar, plus 1 teaspoon potassium. Will that break my fast? Yes, if your goal is a clean fast for getting yourself into that fat adaptive type of experience, it will for sure break a fast. So I always say move that to your feast for sure. And then Savannah, same here, used to drink 6 to 8 12-ounce cups per day. Now only drink 6 to 6-ounce cups of coffee per day. Dang, girl, do you have like an IV you were carrying around with you? That's a lot of coffee. And congratulations for cutting back. And you know, again, there's nothing wrong with drinking that much coffee, but you probably weren't drinking enough water because you were consuming so much coffee. So hopefully when you've cut back the coffee, you've actually increased your water intake as well. So good for you. And then Donna, I love your videos and I want to join your course. Do you ever talk about alternate day fasting? I don't practice that at all. We do flexible intermittent fasting. Alternate day fasting to me feels like a diet to me. And to have to manage what day I'm fasting, what day I'm not. And I know there's like a calorie limit when you're fasting and all that. It's just too much work for me. I just say fast, you know, and don't necessarily label it anything. Just do what works for you. And if you happen to fast for more than 24 hours and that works for you, then and you want to call it alternate day fasting, that's great. But take all the work out of it mentally, physically, emotionally, and just go with the way your body feels and you'll get amazing results. So it doesn't have to be perfect, that's for sure. Imelda, just came across your channel. Do you teach a vegan keto approach? I don't necessarily teach it. I just say keep animal protein off of your stuff. Like I could make a salad and make it very vegan, and I can make the same exact salad for Michael, and if he doesn't want to be vegan, I could throw some salmon or some chicken on his. We'll eat exactly the same thing. The only difference is I'm vegan, he's not, or whatever. And I'm not 100% vegan. I do go in vegan cycles where I just choose to not eat any animal products at all. And we eat exactly the same thing. The only difference is the animal products. So I say just be creative and stay away from recipes if you're freaked out about following a certain genre of eating style. It's usually recipes and cookbooks and other people's philosophies that have you trapped feeling like you have to eat by a certain type of recipe. If you're vegan, just eat a lot of vegetables and eat a lot of nuts and use a lot of oils and throw it together and just eat. It doesn't have to necessarily come from a cookbook or be any certain type of recipe. And then Savannah, yes, been drinking 100 ounces of water you recommend per day now. Awesome. Good for you, girlfriend. And then Sharon, I've also lost 4 pounds since Saturday. Congratulations. Wow. Sharon, that is awesome. And I know for us ladies who are aging and going through a lot of hormonal changes and hormonal imbalance, 4 pounds is big because you finally broke the code and you have finally feeling and believing that your body's still working, right? Because I know I thought my body was broken for a really long time. And so congratulations, and definitely feel really good about that, and then stay focused on the health stuff, because weight for women ebbs and flows, and if you gain 4 ounces or a pound this weekend or something, don't freak out. That's just the way our bodies are meant to self-regulate. Stay focused on the health things, stay focused on your clean fasting, and that weight will continue to drop off in increments, but it's not perfect, so don't freak out. And I say now that you're at the end of week 1, stay off the scale for a little while and just be proud of that 4 pounds that you've lost. Anne Marie, Diane, I have been noticing that I feel bloated and full during fasting. Is that normal? There's no normal. Everybody's different. If you're consuming something in your fast that's making you bloated, or in your feast that's making you bloated, I would analyze what you're consuming and try to narrow it down to a thing. So it has nothing to do with your fasting. It has something to do with your feasting, and your digestive system is not happy with it. So you have to really start going through like an elimination diet type of approach and just slowly start eliminating things. Keep a food journal for sure so that you can keep track of what you're doing, and then find that thing that's triggering the bloat. And that'll all go away, and then you'll start to feel good as well. And if you're feeling full during fasting, that's okay too. Again, it's probably just that digestive change that's going on, and then you just want to make sure that you know what you're doing in your feast to eliminate anything that could be problematic. Jennifer, hello, girlfriend, and Lisa, you are such an inspiration. Oh, thanks, girlfriend. It's been a journey, right, and a road that we have been on, and yeah, we love what we're doing. We love our lifestyle. We love how we're feeling. We love how we're aging, and so we really want to keep a positive mindset for ourselves, and we really want to pay that forward to you guys as well. This is not supposed to be perfect,
and it's not hard work.
No.
I feel like what we used to do before was harder. I mean, it was always harder to try to get back to a weight you wanted to get back to, or get back to a certain way of eating, and you always get back and then you fall off, and then it takes you that much more time to get back. But
yeah,
with this, I feel like we're so flexible. It's Friday night, we could go out and we could have a nice meal and not feel guilty about it. I'm right now on a 23 hour fast by
I'm on
choice.
A 44, I think, hour fast.
And yesterday I did 20 plus hours yesterday. So we're flexible. So if we have something to eat tonight, we're not going to feel guilty about it. We'll have a great weekend. So it's definitely a lot easier than what we used to do in the past, for
And
sure.
it's a lot lighter on your emotions as well, and the stress and the guilt of should I eat this, should I not eat that. Like, we just eat food that makes us feel good, and feel good. You have to tap into the emotional thing of that too. It's like, do you always feel like you're saying no? Do you always feel deprived? Are you missing out on all your favorite things? That factors in as well. We do not want to go through life feeling like we're not allowed to eat anything. The only things that you should really cut out of your nutritional plan or your nutritional lifestyle are the things that make you look and feel bad. And yes, there are foods that are going to make you look bad. If you eat something and you're bloated like you're 6 months pregnant, you're not going to look great. And you know that, and that then makes you feel bad. So we really have to make sure that our, what we're not allowed to eat, or basically what we choose not to eat, because we don't want to look or feel a certain way. And that really does open up a lot of opportunities to just really enjoy food for what food is. And then, and it gives you the opportunity to be present with the people you're with as well. And I know when Michael and I were first on this journey together, and I was really trying to figure my body out, and he hadn't caught on to how amazing this is yet. And we would go out for pizza and have a beer on a Friday night as our date night, and I was sacrificing how I wanted to feel the next day for our usual date night. And then what I would do is wake up in the morning feeling guilty and a little mad, like, oh, I sacrificed, how good I was feeling so we could have pizza together. And now we're on the same journey together, and we don't sacrifice at all. We just go have a gluten-free pizza and we enjoy our night, and no one feels like they're missing out. So
there's just so many variety. There's so much variety of the things you can eat with so much flavor,
yes,
that you don't ever need to really feel deprived at all, ever.
No, not at all. And then Tracy says, I also wanted to tell you my brain fog has gotten so much better since I started to fast and eat better. As a 50-year-old woman, I was experiencing a lot of brain fog. Yes, and we are told as 50-year-old women, I will be 53 next month, that that's just the way life is supposed to be, and it is not supposed to be that way. We are not supposed to be having brain fog and memory loss and, forgetting where we parked our car, like I talk about often. That's just not normal. It's accepted, sadly, but it's not normal. And so getting that brain fog to lift is also a very freeing and exciting experience to have happen as well. So congratulations for experiencing that as well. I think it's fantastic. You guys, my class is in week 1. They just hit Friday of week 1. We didn't even technically start fasting together until Sunday of last week. So not even 7 full days. Today is day 6 for them. And it's the day that we get testimonials from them on how they're feeling. And I just love Fridays because I sit around and read all their testimonials, and I am just always just so happy for the women who've made the decision to do something good for themselves and jump into our course. So congratulations to you guys. You make my heart feel full, and I'm super excited for you. It just gets better from here. So for those of you who haven't been in our course yet, May 4th is our next course. Registration is open. I would love to have you. It's my birthday month, so we can celebrate my birthday hanging out together.
All month. It's her birthday.
It's
all month.
Yeah, my birthday's May 2nd, and we celebrate all month because, there's Mother's Day in there.
It might even start like the end of April with this one.
Yeah, and then we have to close it out with Memorial Day. So the entire month is my birthday. No relation to Memorial Day whatsoever, but I just kind of closed that out as my birthday month holiday. So hang out with me in May for sure. Thanks for joining us tonight or today, you guys.
Well,
if you're feeling the effects of insomnia, it's probably not directly related to fasting. It might be indirectly related. And really start paying attention to what you're doing in your feasting window. Make your adjustments there, and then give it a couple days. Let your body level itself back out and really find its new state of normal, and then don't panic. Just because something feels different doesn't mean that it's going to be a bad thing. It's just different. And then make that difference your new good. And once you really get your mind wrapped around that, you're home free. And then this life that you can live around food and enjoy your body as an aging woman or an aging man is really a really fun place to live. We should have no limits at all.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, good. I will see you guys on Monday. Have a super weekend. If you need anything from us, just circle back around either on YouTube or Facebook, and we will make sure we get your questions and comments.